So Charlie, what were the main reasons for wanting to sell the farm into forestry?
Really, the main reasons kind of selling is that we had our debt level was not really sustainable for the size of the farm, and especially with the impending, national policy statements that were coming out from the government in terms of environmental standards, emissions, and the general cost of operating this particular property wasn't sustainable. We're kind of getting very stretched, both financially, mentally as well. And in the end, it was just, I've had enough of it.
What were the feelings that you and Megan had when you found out that the farm would be going from grass to trees?
When the wooding tender was revealed to us, and it was from a forestry company, it wasn't for me personally. It wasn't too sad. It was more of, right, it's done, and what they paid allowed us to move on into the future. It gave us enough capital to kind of move on to that next thing, whether it's buying land down in Canterbury, which I'm kind of still quite keen about, or doing another completely different business, buying a digger and a truck and becoming a contractor. Yeah. So, it's sad that it has gone into trees, but going into trees actually allowed us to actually remain here in the house with some land, which creates stability, really, for family, rather than uplifting, going, where are we going, spending more money than we earned buying something else, and then having no ties to it. That's kind of, it's pretty much it.
How do you see the future for smaller farms like yours on the East Coast? Do you think that the forestry is going to become more of a trend for the smaller properties?
Not so. I think the future of the smaller blocks on the East Coast is going to become more difficult. I think depending on their current debt levels and their debt level, whether they've got to increase that because they've got to meet new environment standards, or more cost just in general maintenance and running of the farm, I think it will become more difficult. In terms of forestry coming in and just grabbing it all, I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. I think, if it's a good farm that matches in with a neighbouring property, then the neighbours will probably go, actually, it's worth having a crack at it, and it could well stay in farmland, or it might be even a bigger farming operation in another part of the district that'll go, actually, it's a small block, but it will actually work in well with our entire operation. So, they'll go and have a crack because they've, obviously, with the scale, they've got the financial backing to carry on. So, I don't necessarily see forestry going to come and nab everything, but at the same time, it might end up being the only option for those smaller guys because, like us, the farm's just too tough, really, to be a pastoral farm. So, the farmers weren't really interested.